Hey, it's Justin Popovich, and today I've got something really cool to share with you. It's actually a private, you can see it here, Friends of Justin deal from my good friend Brad Goss. It's a little package called Slightest. I really shouldn't call it little, it's a pretty huge package. And you'll be able to follow along here, but I'll also send you to the page so you can look at this yourself. And basically, it is a whole bunch of done-for-you content. You can see it here. There's 150 slideshows, 150 infographics, and 150 videos. It's basically 50 of each of these in 3 different styles. And so the content is sort of pre-made for you, and I'm going to show you what the content actually includes. But then I actually want to show you a very specific example as to why I thought this was a really good offer for people like yourself who, are probably, you own some PLR and you're looking for unique ways to repurpose and repackage that PLR. So I'm going to show you the offer, but I'm going to show you one of my ideas that I thought this makes this package really, really valuable, and I definitely wanted to share it with you. So you can see here, that's sort of the overview of what's in this package. But if you actually look at what Brad's built, if I scroll down right here, you can see it's a huge collection of top 10 lists, top 7 lists, covering a variety of different topics. Now, the topics may or may not all be of interest to you. Not all of them are of interest to me, but I have plenty of ideas as to how I can use this content. So here's some examples, right? 10 tips for staying healthy, 7 things you can do with Google, 10 yoga poses you can do daily, 12 cleaning tips. You can read through them all yourself. To me, the tips aren't as important as the actual packaging here. And let me show you what I mean. And I'm going to show you by using an example. So if you look at Brad's sales page here, these are all the different slides kind of laid out. You can see each slide, regardless of what the tip may be, has a collection of vector graphics. Each slide has kind of a unique image that goes with the tip that's being provided in that slide. But what's cool about it is all of the content on these slides is editable. So if you don't like a top 10 list called yoga poses or whatever, then you can change it to make it your own list of tips. And that's where I think this becomes really, really powerful. So let me actually show you. I'm going to flip over here, and I've got the stress management tips from Brad open here. So you can see it's 11 slides. I'll just quickly kind of scroll through them here. So stress management tips, keep fit and exercise, get a good night's sleep, focus on solutions, not problems, and so on. So you can see all of that. But the cool thing is all of these slides, they're kind of formatted a little large for my page here, but all of the slides are editable. So this content in here, I can swap it out with whatever I want. And this to me is the key. If you've watched any of my other training videos before, I always try to encourage people to take a look at any PLR that you buy, whether it's ours or anyone else's, and think of creative ways of repackaging, repurposing, bundling up that PLR to build your own unique creation. So what I want to do is I'm going to take this package right here. This is one of our packages called Premier Podcast. So it teaches people how to get their own podcast started. And one of the elements of this package, you can see it right here, is a 10-part article bundle. So these are 10 articles that give podcast-related tips. If you were the buyer of this PLR package, you could post these on your blog. You could, put them up on social media. You can add them to document sharing websites, whatever you want to do. But at the end of the day, we're just providing you with the text. What I want to show you now is, well, what if you take the text from one of these articles and combine it with these really cool looking slides? The end result could be a very nice, shareable piece of content that has nothing to do with any of the pre-made titles that Brad gave us per se, but it fits and merges with your own, unique spin on what you want to do with your PLR. So let me actually take this article here. It's a couple of essential podcasting tips. So it's this one right here. I've got that article up, and if you actually read through this article, I won't do that to save you time in this video, but if you break it down, there's basically 3 points being made in this article. One of them is connecting with your audience. That's this first paragraph. The second key tip here is providing high quality or good quality content that connects with your audience. And then the third tip in the article is the aspect of production quality, having a good mic, using, just making sure that everything sounds good and you're delivering good quality content. 3 very solid tips for anybody getting started with their own podcast. So I could, as the owner of this podcasting article, I could, like I said earlier, copy all this text and publish it as a blog post, and I'd be done. The problem with that is it's not very shareable, doesn't really make it any more unique than anyone else using this content. But what if I were to take some of the key tips from this and merge it with some of Brad's content? That's what I want to show you today. So we've got these 3 key tips: connecting with the audience, creating good content, and making high production quality. What I want to do is go to Brad's stress management tips keynote here, or this is, you could do this in PowerPoint or Keynote. These are just slides, whether you're on a Mac or PC, it'll work for you. And we can make our own little podcasting tips slide deck, which has graphics in it and is a very shareable piece of content. So I'm going to start my own little slide deck here. And just for quickness, I'm going to put podcasting tips, and I'll just delete that. I'm going to build my own little slide deck. So we'll delete that, and let's go to tip number 1. The first one was, one of the first things to remember is that in order to connect with your audience, you have to know your audience. So let's take it from there. In order to connect with your audience, you have to know your audience. I'm going to grab all of that, and I'm going to put it in here. Let's actually do this one. This one looks like she's doing some research on her audience. So we'll put that in there. And I'll blow this text up a little bit bigger. All right, so there we've got a little slide. It's a creative way of sharing that information, right? And I've got my own little slide deck running here now where I can put this content. So now, instead of having just a plain old article, I've got something a little bit more shareable. So I might want to mess around with the actual text in here. All right, so I just took a couple of seconds there off camera just to edit the text up a little bit here. So we've got a little highlighter. You know, in order to connect with your audience, you have to know your audience. So how do you get to know your audience? And then here's the actual tip. And I can do the same thing with the other tips. So the next tip in that article is another key thing to keep in mind is that the content you produce gives you the results you end up with. In other words, the content of your podcast is the most important element of your podcast. So let's take all of that. This is a little tip on good content creation. And we'll do the same thing. So I'll actually make a copy of this slide so that I have, so you can see I've got 2 of the same slide there, but I'm going to swap out the graphics. So I just wanted to use it for the formatting here. We'll blow that text up, and I'm going to do a little bit more editing off camera again in just a second. Maybe move these graphics around, but obviously I don't want to use the same graphics, so I'll go over to Brad's. And this one's talking about building good content. Let's see if any of these, I'm just going to randomly grab stuff. This guy looks like he's doing some work. So let's grab that graphic. And that, to me, this is the power of Brad's graphics package, is you have all these cool graphics you can work with, and they just make your life easier for making a nice shareable piece of content. So I can kind of change and adjust things on the fly here. Move that text over a little bit. And then once again, I'm going to pause and kind of come back to you once I've made this look better. All right, so I just updated that text a little bit. I probably could have done a better job. I'm just doing it really quick for this demo here. You can see this is taking a matter of minutes to take a PLR article, just put it in a new format, something that's shareable that I can put up in a variety of different locations. Let's take that final point here. This one's about the production quality. You can have the best, most entertaining, most engaging content. However, if you skimp on production quality, that excellent content will be wasted because people won't want to hear it. So that's a really good tip. And there's some additional things you can do here to make sure your production is high. So let's grab that text and do the same thing on a third slide. So once again, I'll pause while I build this third slide, then I'll show you what I've built. All right, here's my little third tip slide. It says you can have the best, most entertaining, most engaging content, and then this is the big piece. However, if you skimp on production quality, that excellent content will be wasted because people won't hear it, and then there's some little things you can do. And again, we have our title slide here. I probably would spend a bit of time maybe spicing this up, possibly adding some more graphics. Again, Brad's got 50 of these, right? So I might want to go through, as an example, like look at all these different keynotes. If you're on a Mac, then or on a PC, you'd be looking at PowerPoints. But I might want to go through some of these and actually see, are there some other graphics I can use to spice up my title slide, as an example. Tons and tons of graphics to work with here. You would just want to parse through those and take a look. Can I use these on my title slide? I don't see any here that are kind of standing out. So I'll skip that for now, but you get the idea. So I'd have a title slide, and then I might want to also add something at the end, like a little call to action to my website or something like that. For more podcasting tips, please visit, and then blah, blah, blah. So now, instead of just publishing this semi-boring looking article, although the content's great, the packaging of the content could be improved on, and that's exactly what we did here. We took a good piece of PLR content, we merged it with a high quality done-for-you slide deck. We basically borrowed the graphics and the formatting from this, and our net result is this shareable tips folder, or sorry, tips document. Could be a slide deck, could be a PDF. I could put all of this into a giant graphic if I like. Lots of different options here. And now I've got a shareable piece of content that promotes, in this case, maybe a podcasting course or a podcasting ebook that I'm selling, which also came from PLR. So hopefully you see the picture here. When you use Brad's done-for-you slide decks here, you have a whole series of templates, graphical-based templates, that you can use to merge your existing PLR. So it's my little sort of side example over and above what Brad talks about on the sales page. It's a way for you to really make the PLR you're sitting on right now, especially article-based PLR or tip sheets or pre-written tweets, and just make it look better and put it into a variety of formats that may be more shareable online. So I hope you like that example. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, head over here and check out Brad's offer. He's got a great private discount for us for a couple days. And I hope you like what you see. Thanks very much for watching.